Tony, I'll get Tony Joe going.
Yeah, he'll set you up.
You guys, everybody in this room knows a whole lot more than I do. I guarantee you that. You know, like Coach Graham said, I've been Highlands my whole life. My grandma's 85 years old. She's been working in Highlands, going on her, I don't know, 40th, 50th year now. So I've been going to Highlands football games literally before I was a year old. My grandfather ran the clock for, all the way up until I finished playing. I've never taught anywhere else, never been anywhere else, so it's kind of a bubble, but I'm glad I'm in that bubble. It means a whole lot to me. I live a quarter mile from the school. My daughter goes to school there, so I feel like the luckiest guy in the world with my job. Coach Mueller can deal with all the headaches, and I get to coach football, which is fun. I didn't really know where to go to talk, so I started thinking about what it is that we truly believe in and what I think helps us. And this is what I came up with. You know, talking to other guys on the staff and then some other guys that have heard me talk or whatever. You know, what is it that people want to hear, and what we want to do is stop the big play. You know, what I always talk about is defense. The reason defensive coaches have that crazy look to them and are a little bit off, you know, compared to the offensive coaches, is because offensive coaches can punt. And that's what we make fun of. You know, our little joke in the coaches' office. You know, they're kicked back for the game, and you know we're all wound up because we know defensively we got to win the game. If it's 3-0 and we win, guess who gets interviewed after the game? The quarterback, the running back. That's who's getting interviewed, not the linebacker that had 20 tackles in the game. It's, you know, we got to win the game defensively. So we talk about that we can't punt, and so we got to stop the big plays. And this week in the Cincinnati paper, there was a article about Mike Zimmer, who's defense coordinator at the Bengals. There's a couple quotes, and you can read them. I might read them to you. But you know, every now and then you read something, it hits you. And if you've ever had a chance to listen to Coach Zimmer, if you're a defensive guy or just a football guy, you get a chance to listen to him. He is no nonsense. He is football, and they're going to do it one way, and that's going to be his way, and it's going to be the right way. And you know, he talks. You know, they were 4-12 last year, and if you're like me, a suffering Bengals fan, you know, waiting for that. You know, 2 years ago, 10-6, and he talks about, you know, it's not scheme, it's not personnel. They had all kinds of injuries last year. They're playing with guys literally off the street and still putting themselves in position to win games at the end of the year because of their defense. And he realized, going back and looking, that they got too caught up in a bunch of other stuff. And it's not stuff. It's your guys, getting your guys ready to go and having a fundamental base that you can always fall back on and getting your guys better. And this down here, when I read this, it was like that, okay, that's what I'm supposed to talk about. Because, you know, he even says here, you know, indicator was, you know, 2 years ago when they were 10-6 and went to the playoffs, they gave up 5 runs and 20 or more yards. Last year, they gave up 17 in a 16-game season. You're just not going to win games giving up big plays. Because the offense, the harder they got to work to get those yards, the more opportunity there is for a holding penalty, a fumble, a sack, whatever it is. So we got to find a way to stop those big plays. And so I saw this, and it just really, you know, it struck me that that's what it is about. That by no means does that mean we're you know, bend, don't break, sit back, play soft defense. We're going to come after you. We're going to play aggressive. We're going to do our stuff. But we are going to focus and preach our fundamentals, and we're going to work on the individual players. That's our most important thing, is our guys and not the scheme. Our scheme will take care of itself. We want to change from week to week, whatever, as long as we feel like our guys are getting better from top to bottom, day after day after day after day. Every day we want to get better. Yesterday we tried to get better for August. In August we'll try to get, you know, it's a year-round process. Through this on here, you know, this is, you know, you can find this stuff on the internet. This is Dick LeBeau's, you know, his bread and butter blitz that he's going to dial up for 20 years. And I used to go to clinics, and I just, you know, people be talking, I'd be daydreaming. As soon as I'd see a play on the board, I couldn't wait to start drawing it up. Well, anybody that plays the Steelers know they're going to run this. And it's going to work. Not because of the blitz, but because he is a fundamental master, and all of these guys are going to do their job perfectly. And they're going to know how to cover up for each other. So it's not these. These are awesome. I love this stuff. I waste a lot of paper coming up with stuff like this. And what ends up happening, then it just goes in a recycling bin because we don't have enough time to do a bunch of stuff. So Dick LeBeau has made a living on this pressure right here. His inside crossfire center to the center, and it's beautiful when you watch it. But it doesn't work just because they get up on the chalkboard and put it in. He's run the same defense for years and years and years and years and years, and people know it's coming, but they rep the guys to get better at it. What we really think is defense. You know, these are the three things, and I really think if you ask guys that played for us, you know, over the years, tell us the three things. This is what they should say. The first thing, and this changes. I change this all the time. This isn't something that we wrote down and just thought it looked cute and put up on a board and we're done with it. It changes all the time. But we're going to talk about gap and coverage integrity. Every play, each player has a gap and or pass responsibility. And you got to know what it is. We can't have breakdowns. You can't, if you're the B gap player, you got to be the B gap player. You can't step in and play the A because everybody's counting on you to play that B gap. So you got D third or whatever. So every player, you got to know your responsibility. Then it's up to us to teach them what the responsibility is, but how to play that responsibility. So it does, and like I said, our scheme might change a little bit week to week, but we've taught our guys how to be. You're a defensive lineman, a 1 technique, a 3 technique, a 5 technique. We've taught you how to shoot your hands, how to maintain your gap, what to do if you get pressure on the outside, your lineman pulls. We've taught you how to play that football play. We'll put you where we need you, but understand your responsibility. So, and then same with coverage. So not just knowing your responsibility, know how to play your responsibility. And then you can mix and match it if you have those fundamental background. So in this part right here, I tell the guys, I can get the girls' soccer team, I can get cheerleaders to know this. I can sit those girls in here and teach them a play, and they should know that. So you guys should be able to know that. This takes zero talent. Know what you're supposed to do, and then take pride in practicing it. The second thing is athletically, violently getting off blocks. And I know I've been guilty of it. I think we've all been guilty of it, coaching defense, that sometimes we get so caught up in all the other stuff, we forget this one. I think this is the one that gets neglected first, which is kind of ironic and sad almost, but when we started focusing and making sure that we never left the practice field without doing something for this, we got really, really good. When we look back at the years we weren't good defensively or struggled, gave us some points, this was a thing that we lacked on. We didn't focus our guys enough on getting off blocks. We got all kinds of drills. It's all about competing because football's me versus you. The pencil's great, this is great, but it's me versus you, and you got to develop that mentality and the skill set that I'm going to whoop you. That's what it is. So each play, every player is going to get blocked. If you don't get blocked, we're probably going to win anyway. So we got to get better at getting off blocks. And I could spend the rest of the day talking just on this if we really wanted to. And the third thing, again, we really believe these three things don't take much talent. It takes guys that are willing to believe in the system and try real hard. We preach every day, we're preaching, you got to try hard. It sounds silly, but just try real hard. Try hard, try hard, try hard. Yesterday, we get after it in the off season. We do. I think our off season is second to none. And yesterday we got the big gym, which was unfortunately because our basketball team lost, but we got the big gym, and so we're doing. We just do straight basketball drills because we want to have a ball on ball and everything. We always have a ball. The footballs, you don't have to call all the state, but we got tennis balls, softballs, basketball, soccer balls. We're always having balls, throwing, catching, running, throwing it off a wall, catching it, throwing it to each other. Drop it, catch it, roll it, pick it up, but we're always playing with balls. And so yesterday we had the gym, so we're playing basketball drills. If any of you guys are basketball players, basketball coaches, we were doing the old 4-on-3, 3-on-2 drill, where you got 4 offensive guys at the baseline, 3 defensive guys, fast break, come down. If defense gets it, they're the 3 coming back, and these 2 guys pop out playing defense. And that's what we did defensively. We were splitting half offense and defense. We did that for an hour. And they were dragging, but they could not wait for their turn, because it was all about that mindset. But that's where that develops. We developed this right here. Not with a bunch of fancy pursuit drills and all that kind of stuff, but that mindset year-round of trying really, really hard. We tell our guys we don't want to coach pursuit. We don't want to spend time on the practice field begging and pleading for you to run the ball. That's got to come from you. And we're going to find, there's always going to be that one guy. You're always going to have at least that one guy who's going to be your leader. So instead of us running to the guy that's not running the ball and getting on him, and we'll do that from time to time. We don't want to do that. I don't want to get mad and frustrated and aggravated with him. We're going to sprint across the field, and we're going to jump up, whatever that thing is where you jump up and you hit hips in the air. We're going to do that with this guy who ran the ball. And then those guys over here are going to say, I want to be that guy. I want to be the one that coaches are excited about. If you're always belittling guys and yelling at them, then everybody kind of gets nervous because they don't want to be that guy to get yelled at, so then they start backing off because they don't want to make mistakes. So we're going to reward this big time. I'm tired after practice. We're running, defensive coaches, we're flying around. We're running, we're sweating, we're jumping, we're yelling, we're screaming. We're getting all over the place. It's a great, saves me a lot of money from going to the gym, from coaching defense the way we do. So these are the things we're going to preach to you guys. Know your job, get off the blocks and run the ball. It sounds elementary, but that's what we're focusing on. I felt like I needed to focus on our practice just quickly. This is our motto. Have a sense of urgency. Everything we do. You don't have enough time. Talked to him yesterday about this. We'll talk to him Monday about this. We'll talk to him Tuesday. There's just not enough time. Have a sense of urgency. You cannot waste one single minute in the weight room, in the film room. Saturday, today, guys are getting together. The defensive guys, the older guys say, hey, do you care if we're going to meet at someone's house? Great. They're going to go watch film today. Get ready for spring ball. Starts on Monday. Sense of urgency. And it starts with us getting into them. Practice. Go, 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 go. Our practices never stop. It's nonstop. We try to create an atmosphere we're attempting to perfect those core principles while adhering to our overall defensive philosophy. What we try to do, we got a routine. If you're a teacher, Education 101, you got a routine. You got to know the routine to be efficient. And we don't want to be great drill runners, but we also got to have a routine. They know. Yesterday we got in the gym, they knew getting their 5 lines. Get 5 lines. First guy get out half court, get a tennis ball. They knew our tennis ball routine we were going to do. Have a routine. And it's bags, cage drill, tackling, ultimate fighting, box drill, all the drills that we do. And I would love to talk about it. That's not what I'm going to focus on. But that, to me, this is what we do best right here, is get after it in practice. We were going to sacrifice scouting report time to make sure that we get better athletically, get in better shape, and perfect our fundamentals and become more competitive. We don't pass out scouting reports defensively. We don't talk about percentages. We don't talk about tendencies all that much, to be honest with you, because we just feel like there's only so much time in the day, and every time that we got a period set up that we're seeing a formation line. Now we got to do that time to time, and that's summer we got time to do that. But once the season starts, we better understand football. I heard a quote from Pat Narduzzi. He was a D coordinator at UC. I think he's now at Michigan State. But he was at UC. He was speaking at a clinic in Cincinnati, and he said the spring and summer for teaching defense, and the fall's for coaching. Teach in the spring, teach in the summer. We'll slow it down. Our spring practice is a little bit slower the first half of the day than it will be in the season because we got time. We got time to teach. We have a sense of urgency, but it's not as urgent as having a game on Friday that we're going to be determined if we win or lose. So we'll slow it down a little bit in the spring and early in the summer. Once we get to the fall, we don't have time to sit around and stand and talk and show it. We got to go. We got to go, 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 go. So we'll sacrifice that time to make sure we're in better shape than you, to make sure we're better athletically, to make sure that we're working on our skills. Also, our hitting philosophy. We want our guys ready for the game. We got to be ready to play on Fridays. So we're not going to hit that much. When we do hit, it's controlled. We do get after it every single day. You can't come out to practice with a halfway mentality. You got to be ready to go. We're going to do cage drill. We're going to get up in each other's face and we're going to smack each other. We're going to do form up tackling on each other. We're going to do what we call ultimate fighting. We're going to do box drill. Those drills, they will wear your butt out. But it's not going to, a guy's going to get hurt. Every now and then we've had, over the years, maybe 2 guys get a finger caught in a jersey and it comes out and, It looks like Coach Graham's finger. We get a stinger, but for the most part, it's controlled hitting. In the spring, again, a little different. Our goal in the spring is we want to try to play 6 full games in the spring. 6 to 7 full games. Our guys are going to be sore, but that's our chance to play football. Summer, with 2-a-days, getting pushed so close to games, even then, we don't do a whole lot of tackling to the ground. And what we've tried to do over the years is find a way to perfect our skills without getting each other hurt. So have a sense of urgency. First thing, I guess, that we want to talk about when we're talking about stopping the big play is eliminating deep pass. And it's just the easiest play in football to get big yards. Just take a snap, throw it deep, go catch it. And we're going to do everything we can to make that as difficult as possible. And it sounds a little elementary. Now, I was almost a little embarrassed to put this up here, but it's something we really believe in and we work really, really hard on to make it hard for you to catch fades on us. We just don't get fades caught on us. We don't, because it's something we rep. This first bullet here, don't get beat deep. You can listen to Little League games, and these guys on the sidelines are just yelling at their corner, don't get beat deep. And so those corners are lined up at 12 yards, snap ball, they're running. I don't mean that. When I'm saying eliminate deep pass, I'm not telling our corners on the snap of the ball, run 40 yards downfield and let everything happen in front of you. It's a technique that we're going to master to make sure you can't catch that fade on us. Because if you catch a 40-yard pass, that's 4 first downs you just got. So that's 12 to 16 plays that we've just cost ourselves a chance to get a sack, get a fumble, get an interception, get you on a holding call, something like, punt, get us the ball back. So we're going to stop the big play. Players got to understand responsibility, technique, and weakness in the coverage. It's not that we're going to sit 3 deep every play, but somebody's got to have deep responsibility. It might be man coverage, cover 2, whatever it is, but we're going to learn how to stop that. Our horizontal alignment's important. Even our guys that we preach it to, you will see on film them getting out leveraged just by their alignment horizontally on the field. They'll let that wide receiver, number 1, take them all the way to the sidelines and then get leverage on him and get that skinny post. Or, to the wide side, let him get him really wide and hit something up inside. Get that number 2 on a seam because he can't get to his divider because he let number 1 widen him. Know your horizontal alignment. That's as important as how deep you are. The third thing is vertical position. And this is stuff we talk every day. There's DBs get online. And it's the same stuff you guys do. None of this is new. Cushion drill, weave drill, flip the hips. But that cushion drill is really important. And we do it a couple of different ways. Just keeping that back pedal and letting that receiver run past them so they get the feel of how fast they need to be and how fast that guy can eat the cushion up. And then we talk about getting, flipping the hips. And the phrase we use is back on chest. And that's what this picture is. This kid right here, this is the 07 team. We tried to hide him on the short side all year. In the beginning of the year, he was bad. He honestly was bad. And he kept getting. And this was in the state game, and they were trying to pick on him. And that is a picture I found. I think it was out of the paper or something. That's why it's got that stuff on it. But he ran a fade. He stayed on his divider, turned the quarterback, stays on top of him, balls in the air, puts your back on his chest. Unless he's Randy Moss, he's not catching the fade if your back's on his chest. We got one of our coaches, you guys from Kentucky, so, it's Jared Lorenz, you remember him? So he's an NFL guy, and he's hearing me say this to guys, like, what about the back shoulder fade? I said, when we play Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, we'll worry about it then. But right now, we don't play them, so I'm not worried about it. We're going to do this until we move the NFL, which isn't happening, so we're going to do this forever. So back on the chest is what we preach to these guys. So we want to stop the big pass. And it's a technique that we're going to work on all the time. And if you come to 707, if you're a 707, you're going to hear me screaming that all the time with these deep balls. Back on his chest, back on his chest, back on his chest. We want to open our hips, quarterback, get your back on his chest and stop this. And I just, this play was over. He came running over. He jumped on top of me yelling, back on his chest, back on his chest. Because now we got it. We can play, we feel, inferior corners at corner if they'll perfect this technique. The kid, we had this kid, he was not ready to play corner at the varsity level against Bowling Green in that game. But he got good at this skill. The kid we had to play corner this year, he was a JV corner at best. We had injuries, and We just preaches. He took a couple lumps early in the year. He got a couple fades on him because he wouldn't trust in what we were doing. And it's kind of a funny story, not a funny story, it's a cool story for me. He was kind of a prima donna early in the year, and he thought he knew it all. His dad thought he knew it all, and he wouldn't buy in what we were doing. And we had to bench him for a while because he wouldn't do this kind of stuff. And he's giving up plays, and he finally started to buy into it. Had an interception in a state game. Real excited. He goes off to basketball, and they can't wait for him to show up for basketball because he's one of our DBs. So they thought they got this athlete guy. So he goes out in the first. He said 3.5 weeks of the season, he's covering everybody's best player in basketball. And he said, I'm working, and nobody can get by me because they lost Thursday night. And so I saw they lost Thursday, he's in the weight room Friday. So that said a lot about him growing up. And I said, they were getting by you. And he said, I know, we got to do bags more. I said, what? I said, you were the first one to complain whenever we get the bags out, which is how we start off every practice. I said, you were the first one to complain. He said, I know, but I can't cover anybody anymore in basketball. He said the first part of the season I could because that's what we worked on. And it showed me that he was starting to trust this stuff. So I'm excited to see him Monday come out and see if he'll buy into this stuff right off the bat. And that's what I told him. I said, you would have said this to me last year. I said, you know how good a year you had last year? I said, you had a good playoff game. That's about all you had was one good playoff game. And now you got a chance to have a good senior season. So buying into it. The second thing that we preach to these guys is the 2x9 rule. And this is anytime the ball gets outside the tackle, we talk about 2 guys making a tackle on the outside in, 9 guys tackling inside out. And it sounds simple, and it sounds like you could only, you have to put this up there, tell them once they got it for the season. But week 2, week 6, week 8, week 12, we're still fixing it. And they got to understand this concept. And the force player, it's not just making the ball go inside of you. We work at forcing the player to do something he doesn't want to do. Radical cutback, radical bounce. And it says locked arm at 45. That's the technique that we really, really work on. And being on Center's campus, it's kind of the wrong thing to say because this is not a 45-degree angle. I understand that, but that's 45 to them. That's, what is that, 135, I guess? But to them, it's 45. So we talk about locked arm at 45. So if I'm the force player and he's coming to block me, we always want to take that hand and put on that shoulder and keep it at a 45. Now I can fold back in, and I can also maintain leverage. So when you watch our films, hopefully, and our guys get pretty good at by the end of the year, we're going to start in summer. Guys coming out in, we're going to put an arm right on his outside shoulder, right here on that chest. And we're going to try to lock our arm. We're going to keep that 45 degree as hard as we can. And that's the primary force guy. Secondary force guy, he's got to maintain leverage on, or cushion and leverage on number 1. Once he's no longer pass threat, he does what then now he's in. Now you got the whole crack and replace, all that kind of stuff to play into it. This is the key though. These guys, they hear this in Little League. Don't let anybody outside of you. Don't let anybody, they know that part. This is the part that takes a while to coach. It seems like this would be the easiest part. But inside out, don't overrun the ball. The last play, we were watching over there, the guy cut back for that long game. The biggest plays, you go back and watch the biggest plays against you. Every now and then teams, if they're better than you, or they're going to hit right up the gut and take one. But when the ball gets outside, it's either your force player got forced back in and it takes it to the house, or it's a cutback. And so we're going to work hard on taking the cutback away. We do cutback drills all year. We did cutback drill yesterday. And I'll show you the cutback drill in a second. But it's inside out. And the hardest thing is those linebackers had success in Little League to get them to buy into this. Because Little League linebackers, they get here, the ball snap, they hop up and down, they find the ball, and then they run to it. They've got to take that gap. We got to come down. Your backside A gap, that's getting into the scheme part, but backside A, you got to fill it. Right? Just like you guys do. You can't overrun it. And we work really, 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 really hard on inside out of that ball. Know where your help is. Alley player, full player, cutoff player. I think I got some. Well, this up here first. This is what we do in the gym. Anytime we get a chance to, big enough, we're going to do this drill. We do this drill on Fridays before games. We'll go out 5 o'clock. Get out, get loosened up a little bit before so we don't sit around forever. And we just get a guy here, and it's a real simple drill. Get a guy here, get a guy here. He's just going to sprint down the sidelines, and then he's aiming at the back hip. We want him to cut back. If he's going to loaf and just try to play the drill, and just hang back and try not to get you cut back, they're beating with speed. But we want this guy to cut back. It's amazing. We didn't start doing this drill until like week 8 last year. We were getting some cutbacks on us. And so, you having a problem? Try to fix it with a drill. And we did the drill the first time. It was amazing how many guys just take off sprinting and we're getting cut back on. So just doing this little drill, I think, really helped us throughout the year. So we carried it over into our off season. It takes 3 minutes. Everybody gets a couple reps. Boom, 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 boom. Aiming at that back hip. Working on the cutbacks. This will kind of show what I'm talking about here. This is an 07 film. This is one of my favorite plays of all time. Just when you get that one play that's what you've been coaching. This kid here, who is our rover in this defense, so he's that wide side, outside linebacker. He has to just be a technician. And so he's the force player on this play coming out. So they're going to motion to a church formation. They're going to pitch it to a guy who's faster than everybody on our team. So we work on, you've got to keep him in. If he gets outside, he's gone. Because that receiver they had down here, I can't remember his name, he was number 1, but he ended up going to South Carolina or whatever. I don't know whatever happened to him, but if he's still playing there, but he was a stud. And so, secondary force guy, he was a sophomore, you stay on top of him. You weren't going to help us at all, so we said, you're on an island, buddy. You're all by yourself. We've got to trust you. He was a backup JV wide receiver as a junior. And in the offseason, going into his senior year, he every other day in the weight room, he's pushing somebody. Because they took the 5-pound weight he wanted. He's just one of those guys. And I was like, gosh, Jimmy, you want to be a receiver? He's like, no, not really. I can't catch. I'm like, well, you're always fighting everybody. Well, they just put me a receiver as a freshman, and I'm a receiver. He never really thought about it. I said, well, we can spring boss. Let's play some defense. Let's see what happens. And he was an athletic kid. He was kind of stiff-hipped, but he loved physical stuff. He loved getting physical with people. And so he finally got it. It took a while. And so he's the fourth player, and you see all the gaps. And so as the play goes on, it's a pitch. So he's got to come flying up the field, but he can't be just the guy coming up and say the ball went inside me, I did my job. And you can see these guys, they're coming downhill, inside out. Downhill, inside out. Fold player. Slow fold, we call it. Stay behind the ball. You be the running back without the ball. So as you're coming across, you see what he sees. If it opens up, you take it. If you're wrong, at least we've prevented the cutback. So now, we've made the wall here. We've made the wall we wanted to make. That's the middle linebacker. It's a pitch. So middle linebacker's here. The pitch is already out there. But he was brainwashed enough to know my A gap opens. I got to take it. I cannot go sideways and get on top, get even with the ball, let him cut back. So it's that, this just them getting brainwashed, doing drills over and over and over and over and over again. Because the natural thing to do with the guy getting the ball going this way is to come over top of it. Force player, you can see him. If I can still see blue jersey, we're in pretty good shape. You can see how he's trying to work his hip. We also talk about hip and hold. So he's trying to get his hip. He's trying to get that 45-degree lock. Alley player, he's coming down right now. You stay over top of it, he's better than you. Same thing. Blue jersey, we're in good shape. He's working. There's the middle linebacker. He has nowhere to go. He has to keep going sideways. He's got pursuit coming from the inside out. The force player, he's working, he's working, he's working. Alley player, if he gets hooked, you become the force player. If he gets too wide, you've got to fill it right now. Same thing. So we got the middle linebacker making the tackle on a pitch. Not because he's faster running back, but the running back wasn't sprinting. He was going, where do I go, where do I go, where do I go? So we get a negative play for 1 yard on a pitch where that guy getting the ball was better than our force player, but he believed in what we were doing. He worked that technique. Alley player's coming down right now, that safety, trusting his keys. This is from spring football last year, or whatever, 2 years ago. They throw a screen. Right now, we're outnumbered 4-3. They got 4 white jerseys. We got 3 blue jerseys, 2 of them blocked. The lineman coming out on him. You can see right now, you can't see blue. We're in trouble. This picture right here makes me cry almost, because you can see they get it. This was a kid who hadn't played football since he was a freshman. He was a senior. He took 2 years off. That's a sophomore. But they trust it. You can see both of them with their inside hand, trying to control the chest. They know their force, secondary force. Get outside the blocker, stay on that top shoulder. They got it. Alley players coming in. Now, inside, we had some mistakes there. Some guys were upfield. We work hard on the screen because we're so We come after you so much, guys. We're trying to screen us, but we really, really work hard on screen. Our rule to anybody that's coming upfield, in down, play the screen. So you'll see teams drop back pass, and our guy will be down, and he'll rush, and he'll stick his foot and come running backwards and be sitting, and we'll have 3 guys sitting back here for screen. We're like, that's fine. Play the screen first. He's forced to cut back in pursuit. Because what's a running back want to do? He wants to run. He wants to get outside the whole thing and go. They sit outside. Here comes our pursuit. Knowing your job, knowing your responsibility, getting off blocks, running to the ball. So again, 2 outside, 9 inside out. All 11 guys. You can count all 11 guys here. So on that first picture, that was 85-yard touchdown waiting to happen. 12-yard gain. First down, so be it. We can still play. If that's a touchdown, now mentally we're down. Scoreboard we're down. Now we got a chance. Maybe we get a fumble next play. Spy technique. The third and final thing I want to hit on here. The focus of what we're trying to do, like I said, is stop the big play. Make you snap the ball. Give us a chance to make a play. So this has been tremendous for us, this spy technique. 3rd and 8, great coverage. Rushers are collapsing the pocket, and all of a sudden their quarterback, their best athletic, their most athletic player scrambles, gets 9 first down. Most frustrating thing in the world. You call it perfect coverage. You know the route that's coming. Your guy's going upfield, and the quarterback sidesteps it. Boom, run. Gets past the rush, gets the first down. Especially high school football, most time their best player is going to be their quarterback. A lot of times, in terms of athletic. We want you offensively to have perfect protection, perfect routes, perfect throw, perfect catch. Not your best athlete taking a snap, letting everybody run, and then just take off running. We don't want that. We're not going to let you do that. So if you got a guy that can do that, we're going to do this. Some way, somehow. And that's to have a guy responsible for your quarterback. You hear it on NFL, you watch on Sundays, they're talking about with Michael Vick and that, but it's something we really, 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 really work hard on. And any one of our guys could do this. It's easy. We just tag this guy, tag that guy. So how we teach it, if you're a second or third, we've never done it, but if you're a second or third level player coming down, we want to press line scrimmage, and we say stay out of the crap. Stay out of all those big hogs fighting in there. Stay out of it. Stay away from it. Maintain 1 yard separation, like you can see him right here. Stay on the nose of the quarterback. If you're spying opposite the pressure, which we can do that, we can bring guys off that side and spy from the back side. Then you want to keep them on your inside shoulder. But either way, inside in front, inside in front, inside in front, inside in front. That's what we're constantly preaching to our rushers. Inside in front. We don't want sacks. We don't need sacks. We want to make perfect protection, perfect throw, perfect route, perfect catch. Understand the movements, where the quarterback's going to go. Understand matchups. We might say, hey, middle linebacker, you're spying this week. We got a mismatch over here the whole game. And we're going to let him loose this week. We're going to tell him he doesn't have to stay inside in front. You go. Understand if he gets flushed, good chance he's coming this way. So we'll game plan that a little bit in terms of knowing. If the quarterback stays in the pocket, the alley opens up, I put here, let him know you're there. If it opens up and he's throwing, just go give him a little hello kiss. If there's no alley, just run the ball if you're throwing. And sometimes that guy who's a spy, he's like, gosh, coach, I did 3 plays, I've spied and I've done nothing. What have they done? Oh, they threw it and they complete and they punted. Okay, don't worry about it. Who is that guy back there? The best athlete, that's right. What do you see? He saw you spying, he threw it, not a perfect throw, not a perfect catch, they're hunting. Quarterback flushed out. As long as the player who's responsible for contain has contained, you're still coming inside out. If he breaks contain, you've got to now alter your path to be the contained rusher. This is just a variety. The guy in orange, whatever that's up there, so we could send, one off each edge, and now tag him as the spy. And that's personnel, depending on who that guy is. He could be the spy. And it's still the same thing, but instead of press line scrimmage, he's going to separate and sit, as we call it. And we always give our defensive linemen their rule on pass rush. If you're not getting anywhere, separate and sit. Don't try to get through a wall. If you're getting double teamed, and you're that nose man, you're that end, they're keeping their tight end, whatever. If you're not making any progress, just separate and sit. Just sit there. You're not going to help us sitting there fighting. We'd rather separate and sit. And if look for screens, look for scrambles, something like that. We could send him, spy him. We could send two off this edge and have a spy here, understanding your pressures come from that way. And the reason we're doing that is so he doesn't rush upfield, he comes underneath him. And over here, this is what we did in that last game this season, because their quarterback was, as good as I've seen in terms of being an athlete. We had two guys spy him a lot, because we just weren't going to let him beat us running the ball. So, picture here. We tagged it here. We sent one. We were a 3-3 team. So we sent one. This is our left inside linebacker. So we sent one, played robber coverage, bringing our safety down. It's called a mirror. So it was left blitz, mirror, robber. So our middle backer's still spying when he hears the word mirror. So we can get pressured, and this was where is he now? Army? Yeah, so he was a great athlete. And on film, you just saw time after time after time, protection break down, device covered, he's taking off. So we knew we couldn't let him do it. Before this game, this was the 15th game of this season. Before this game, the only way we could spy the quarterback was calling regular, which that's our word for just our base defense, calling regular. And all weekend I'm you know how it is on weekends. You can't sleep, can't eat, and thinking, oh my gosh, this kid's really, really good. We want to get after him, but if we send one, now we're dropping 4 underneath, and he's going to run. And sometimes it just doesn't click. And that Monday, we watched film before practice. We got in practice, and practice is over. We go back in and watch a little more film. We just got a new one. Like, oh my gosh, this kid is awesome. So practice over. I have to fly across town and go pick up my daughter from dance class. And I'm sitting in the waiting room waiting for this 4-year-olds to get done dancing. And it was just one of those, oh my gosh, and it just hit me. So I go up to the counter. I said, can I borrow some paper and a pencil, please? And came in Tuesday. I was like, I got it. We're going to call it mirror. We're going to spy you, blitz one. And that's what we did almost the whole game. And so you can see, he's going to press line of scrimmage, and he's just going to sit. He's going to keep his nose to the quarterback. That center, I think that was a center, he's wasted. He's just, what's this guy doing? So the end misses him. He's going to flush the quarterback. He's got to maintain that separation. So now, he breaks the contain of the defensive end. He's got overlap now. He's at the quarterback. So if we don't have him spying, if he's back in coverage, everything would remain the same except he's going to get the first down now. So now on 3rd and 6, they go out of bounds for no gain. Hit source. Work at everything you get. This is, we don't have the huddle stuff, which I'm hearing is really cool stuff. We still have, I don't even know what it's called. This took me like an hour and a half to get 3 plays on here, so best I could do. But this is really focusing more on the spy technique than anything. But also I'm going to emphasize, like I said, we're going to sacrifice scouting time to work on being athletes. And we spend every single day, we're doing bags, we do what we call open field tag year round. That's our favorite drill. We did it yesterday, we'll do it Monday with equipment on. And all it is what you did in gym class. There's the goal line, get a guy back there, he's the defender, I'm the offensive guy, and I'm just running, trying to fake you out, and you just try to tag me with your palms up, tag me in scores. So we do that every day. We do 2-on-1 with the width of the field. 2 taggers, 1 ball carrier here. 1 offensive guy, we want to call him. We'll do 3-on-2 with a basketball. And you got to lateral it back and forth and don't get tagged before they tag you. We'll do all kinds of variations of tag games. All kinds of tag games. And it came out. And I told them every week I tell them, if you don't believe in the bags, you don't get it before we do it. Because they're going to be like this when we're done with it. We got all kinds of variations of bags, the same things you guys do. But everything's about competing, working our feet. Every time we run, whether it's warm-up drills before practice, running sprints, after practice, anytime we run, we work on the stop. We never run through a line, ever do we run through something. We never tell them to sprint through. We stop. Because we feel the stop is as, if not more important than the sprint. So even when we do warm-up runs, the first thing, as soon as we come out, first thing, form run, just getting loose, we get to the end, we stop. Everything we do, we stop. Year round, stop, stop, stop. Work on your stop, work on your stop, work on your stop. Because football isn't sprints. And that's what the guy was saying with basketball. He said everything we do are down, suicides, basketball suicides, down, back, down, back, down. So it's long stride, turn, long stride. He said, when I get out there on a basketball court, I'm trying to cover guys who are real quick, and my feet aren't there. So we didn't do anything in this game schematically. We lined up and played. We knew, we had an idea what we wanted to do with them. So you can see here, working on the spies. So just what I like is if you can see everybody, especially these two guys, it's almost like they're twins. Their feet stop and start, stop and start. And so if you know anything about those guys, I know Boyle, you guys play, I mean, that kid was as good an athlete as I've ever seen at quarterback, but he wasn't a great quarterback. And so that's what we try to find out. Now, if this kid here is a great quarterback, if we're playing Tom Brady, we're not going to have a spy technique. He's going to have 3 yards a year rushing. But he's going to have 150 yards a game rushing, and he might have a big passing game because he packs line of scrimmage and throws it over you. But we're going to, if you got an athletic guy, we're going to want to spy him. So inside in front, we let him go. He was allowed to go. Everybody else, you can see inside in front, inside in front. So it was fun. See how he is. And this kid right, he's out of his element. But he worked his butt off, keeping him in front, keep his front. You can see his feet going a million miles an hour. He couldn't hardly run over bags at the beginning of the season without getting hurt. Feet. He doesn't make the tackle, but he made him stop his feet. Now we get a shot on the quarterback. He throws one up, knock it down. Got a punt. Same kind of deal. People working on their feet. You can see, and to me, what I like about it is the coach of these guys is whenever he changes direction, there's 3 and 4 different guys all doing the same thing. They're not crossing over, they're not turning their hips, they're not turning their shoulders. Everybody's staying square to the quarterback, everybody's constantly moving their feet. So based on formation, this time we had 2 spies over here, he was in coverage. And you can see those guys up front, we told them, we don't need a sack. So if you watch the NFC Championship, which was now 2 years ago, with Brett Favre, how many times they sacked Brett Favre? 0. But he could hardly walk off the field and the game was over. And they lost. You don't have to sack the quarterback to have success. Make him frustrated. This guy, we wanted him to throw the ball. We didn't want him to run the ball. Throw the ball. Dare you. And so we kept guys in here. Our coverage was based on the formation. Inside in front. Inside in front. This next one, you can see a good view of this here. But the defensive linemen, just constantly doing that technique that we were talking about with the force players, keeping their hands. That goes back to drills we do every single day of practice. Every day, working our hands. Every day, working our hands, working our hands. Inside in front. Same thing here. He's going to get outside the pocket. Our linebacker's going to do a great job. See him? And you can just tell, I think, that's we work on this all the time. Both these guys will come flying out. Quarterback stops. They both square up right now. So it's not just one, freak that we had to spine the whole game. It was developing that throughout the year, working on our feet, moving laterally, squaring up to him, and that's the drills that we do, yesterday. And just being able to keep that concept of inside and in front. That took me a long time to put those 3 plays on there. Anybody have any questions on anything? Yes?
When you have your spy technique, you always going to incorporate your flush and inside out, all 3 elements in the scheme?
Now, depends on the quarterback. But when we teach our pass rush lanes and get after the quarterback, we talk inside in front. So if I'm the defensive end, I'm coming off the outside. We've got to see the quarterback as I'm rushing the tackles. If we are 1 yard from the quarterback, we know that, in terms of being on the same plane, we know next step, we're going to stick it and we're going to spin back underneath. So we never want to go past quarterback. We always want the quarterback inside in front. We want to keep him in the pocket and make him uncomfortable. Even though we preach it, we still get the guys, they wanna come up the field in that court, it's the same drills we teach quarterbacks. They come up, they feel the pressure, they duck up, duck up on under, and come out here and they step back up. So we wanna keep him, he wants to duck up, hopefully we get here, and keep him inside. The one thing I guess I forgot to say, Coach Coverdale here, he helped our team over anything last year. He doesn't know this, but they kicked our butt in the scrimmage. And the problem was we got 2 platoon last year for the first time. And so all summer, I had just defensive guys. We practice, we do something about every day except Saturday and Sunday in the dead period. And it was like having a new toy. And so we were doing all kinds of stuff. We had all kinds of different things. We were doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. And we get to scrimmage and there's all kinds of things to choose from. And it was fun. The thing, we could do this, 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 and this. Well, those guys are the best coach you can find anywhere, any level. And as soon as one guy flips his hips our coverage would be perfect except one guy would open his hips this way instead of to number 2, and he'd realize it and the ball's already thrown. And so we're trying to do all this different stuff, and they're just boom, 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 boom. And it's like 35 points in the first quarter and a half, and you're frustrated as a coach, but then we had to step back and say, they're doing what we're telling them to do. So then once we said, okay, take that paper, put it in the garbage, let's play some just base fundamental football. Our guys started to get more confidence. We had a chance to make some plays, and for the rest of the season, we never got that out of the trash can. And it really helped us to get exposed in the scrimmage when you're still 0-0 when the game's over. That back to that first quote from Coach Zimmer is, it's not scheme, it's getting each of your guys better at what it is that you're asking them to do, in whatever it is scheme that you're doing. So, I guess that's all I have. Any questions, anything?
Questions?
Really an honor to be here. This is a no-brainer for me to come